What do you think of the Brittany Renner swap for this Lord of War?
Brittany Renner? Brittany Renner? Isn't that another slut walker?
That the U.S. just gave up. Like, apparently this movie, Lord of War, is like based on this guy that they convicted, and now they've swapped for a stoner basketball player, you know, with Russia. Like, what do you think of that swap?
Bro, I think anybody who is a heterosexual male with light skin inside of any government agency of the USA should resign immediately. If you're a soldier, if you're a spy, if you're a white, straight white male who works for the American government, quit. Because they don't give a fuck about you. Do you know what the worst thing about it is? There's an American Marine who's been accused of spying. What's his name? Paul Whelan, I think. Look his name up. Who's in a Russian jail right now. They haven't swapped the Lord of War for the American spy. No, they swapped the Lord of War for a basketball player, and they left this spy to Raw. Do you find it, Whelan?
Found it. Canadian-born security director from the U.S.
Yeah, why does the guy on the left look like Andrew in 20 years?
Correct.
Yeah.
They left him to rot in a gulag. Do you know why?
Wow.
Because he is a straight white male. If you're a straight white man, they will leave you to die.
And get the dyke WNBA player that nobody knows what team she plays for.
They don't give a shit. You know why? Because you don't fit the narrative. Affirmative action now applies to prisoner swaps. They're going to allow... It's crazy to me that you're going to swap the Lord of...
That's the woke mind virus. Now everybody's really happy about this, and they're...
for someone who is so strategically unimportant just because she is of color.
And you're going to get the black vote. It's all a chess move. Biden doesn't give a fuck about Brittany Renner, Griner. It's all optics.
And she's gay. If that was a white, straight woman, nobody would care. It's purely just to tick boxes for this insane culture of constant attack on white people. They say that minorities are under attack. It's absolutely the opposite. I'm mixed race. I'm half black, half white. I've had more racism towards me for looking or acting or being white than I've ever had for being slightly brown.
They're calling, I'm mixed race too, chat. That article in the Daily Beast, Sneeko joins Kanye West campaign. Racist Rumbler, racist YouTuber joins Kanye West campaign. Me! They're calling me racist. How are you attacking the what? I'm 25% white? Because if they were labeling me as part black or part Asian, they're gonna call me racist. They're trying to call me a white supremacist. They're trying to call me racist. Nobody thinks I'm racist. But you see how they use it. The straight white male is seen as the devil now. That's why somebody like Nick Fuentes, I think, is going to be the future president.
Completely, not even close. It's insane. And even the Russian news said this. The Russian news, there's a Russian news clip, which is on my Twitter feed right now, that shows the Russian
Wooten in the chat, W. Putin.
News laughing, saying that the only reason they wanted Brittany is because she is homosexual or gay or whatever you call it. She's lesbian and she's of color. If you're a white, straight man, they leave you to rot. Imagine being that spy. Imagine how he feels. He's been in there for fucking 5 years.
Since
and he's sitting there. Bro, and they just left him. They left him because he likes pussy. Bro, they just left him. Fucking unbelievable. Incredible.
This is where we're at, man. I mean, if you guys aren't looking, like, you know, if you're not unplugging and seeing the code in the Matrix, I don't know what you're doing right now.
Completely. So this is my point. If you're a white, straight soldier or spy, why are you working for this government? They will just leave you to fucking die. We should get all this Brittany chick better fucking learn how to spy and go back to Russia.
It's Brittany, bitch.
She better go do something useful. Unbelievable.
Hold up. Now I want to look at did you see the new Twitter dump? This is another. Hold on. Did you see the Twitter?
Wake that ass up.
Shut the fuck up, Breakfast Club. It's Angelique Charlamagne gone. We are the Breakfast Club. Hold up. I wanted to read that Twitter files. I should have loaded it up earlier. Good morning. It's Angelique Charlamagne gone. We're the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'm 30 minutes behind the stream, but my grandfather got killed by Japanese in World War II. He was fighting for the wrong side. RIP to him, and Nick's rhetoric is on point. You should talk to him on World War II one day. Yeah, I'm down. I have learned a lot from Nick. Did you guys read this? W, if you've already read this. I love these Twitter files. This is the new news. Twitter is the news. Elon's done a good job, but he really wants to. He's openly saying that he wants to plug people's brain into the Neuralink, and he's using the fact that he's gaining some popularity to push that. Really get into Black Mirror levels of Matrix right now. The social credit system, the CBDCs, Neuralink coming in. It's going to be, especially now they're even planning the next COVID. They're saying it's going to start targeting children because they really need to come at our empathy. It's getting bad. But let's read the Twitter files. Part 5, the removal of Trump from Twitter. On the morning of January 8th, President Donald Trump, with one remaining strike before being at risk of permanent suspension from Twitter, tweets twice. The 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first, and make America great again, will have a giant voice long to the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. So all those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. I remember that. For years, Twitter had resisted calls, both internal and external, to ban Trump on the grounds that blocking a world leader from the platform or removing their controversial tweets would hide important information that people should be able to see and debate. Anybody who is for, and it's just the amount of people, it's absolutely insane. That's why I kind of miss streaming on YouTube, because the amount of people who thought that Trump should be banned on social media was just unbelievable. The leader of the free world, they're like, yeah, ban him. Nobody cares. The vast majority of people in the West don't care about free speech, which is the foundation of the reason this country exists. For years, Twitter had resisted calls. Our mission is to provide a forum that enables people to be informed and to engage their leaders directly. The company wrote in 2019, Twitter's aim was to protect the public's right to hear from their leaders and to hold them to account. But after January 6th, as Tabby and Schellenberger, MD, have documented, pressure grew both inside and outside of Twitter to ban Trump. There were dissenters inside Twitter, and this is the same ideology that got me banned, really, for election misinformation and COVID misinformation. Maybe because I'm from China, said one employee on January 7th, I deeply understand how censorship can destroy the public conversation. I respect that, but realistically, we impose far stricter rules on effectively everyone else on the platform, so they know. But voices like that one appear to have been a distinct minority within the company across Slack channels. Many Twitter employees were upset that Trump hadn't been banned earlier. I'm so glad fucking Elon fired all those pussies, all the wokies, the woke mind virus. That's the real pandemic. Woke. After January 6th, Twitter employees had organized to demand their employer ban Trump. There's a lot of employee advocacy happening, said one Twitter employee. We have to do the right thing and ban this account, said one staffer. It's pretty obvious he's going to try to thread the needle of incitement without violating the rules. So they're trying to ban him without actually him violating the rules. They try to get me with that too. You guys remember, type of one, if you remember when they got me with nudity, when there wasn't even any nudity? I had a lot of strikes removed. I had a lot of videos. I had so many videos flagged, so many videos get demonetized, age restricted, that were ended up removing it. They wanted me gone. When Nick said there was something bad in particular about Jewishness, which shapes the elite agenda, he simply means it is not a coincidence that they happen to be Jewish individuals, like Lex says. Okay, so you agree with him, but I think that's a bad rhetoric to have. I don't think you should group in all one people. That's how you get a Hitler, is assuming that all this group of people are bad and they all have something bad about them that's wrong. And I don't like that type of ideology at all. I believe in what MLK and Malcolm X said, that we shouldn't judge people on the color of their skin, or we should judge them by the content of their character. That's equality. And I think we should believe in that. Free speech is how you get equality too. In the early afternoon of January 8th, the Washington Post published an open letter signed by over 300 Twitter employees to CEO Jack Dorsey demanding Trump's ban. It's like, what do you call it? It's like a coup. It's like they're holding a strike. We must examine Twitter's complicity in what President-elect Biden has rightly termed insurrection. Bro, all of them, Twitter was on Biden's side. He would have not been elected if Elon had bought Twitter beforehand, if Jack Dorsey didn't sell out. He was good before. But the Twitter staff assigned to evaluate tweets quickly concluded that Trump had not violated Twitter's policies. I think we have a hard time saying this is incitement, wrote one staffer. It's pretty clear he's saying the American patriots are the ones who voted for him and not the terrorists. We can call them that, right? From Wednesday? Another staffer agreed, don't see the incitement angle here. He didn't incite anything. Trump did not incite a riot. He gave a speech. I am also not seeing clear coded incitement in the Donald J. Trump tweet. wrote Annika Navaroli, and a Twitter policy official. I'll respond to the elections channel and say that our team has assessed and found no violations for the Donald Trump one. Thanks for the 20. Survive Matrix. People self-proclaim BS. First step for people self-proclaim bullshit. First step for people is to realize that there's no such thing as stupid or smart. There is. Society dumb each other down and constantly chase pleasures. No wonder they are uneducated. No wonder there are uneducated. Do you see this guy's typo calling people uneducated? Bro, you use yeah, okay. You get the point. Typo or whatever. She does just that. As an FYI, safety has assessed the Donald J. Trump tweet above and determined that there is no violation of our policies at this time. They knew that he didn't violate any policies. Later, Navaroli would testify to the House January 6th committee. For months, I had been begging and anticipating and attempting to raise the reality that if we made no intervention into what I saw occurring, people were going to die. Next, Twitter safety team decides that that Trump's 7:44 a.m. Eastern time tweet is also not in violation. They are unequivocal. There is no violation. It's just to say he's not attending the inauguration. That has nothing to do with the incitement of violence. And they even made up a bunch of stories in the news. They fabricated all these things. They really pushed it. They made it seem like, oh, they killed these cops. They killed this. They made up a lot of lies about what happened on January 6th. To understand Twitter's decision to ban Trump, we must consider how Twitter deals with the other heads of state and political leaders, including in Iran, Nigeria, and Ethiopia. In June 2018, Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei tweeted, Israel is a malignant cancerous tumor in the West Asian region that has to be removed and eradicated. It is impossible and it will happen. Israel is a malignant cancerous tumor in the West Asian region that has to be removed and eradicated. It is possible and it will happen. Some people are going to be like, base. In October 2020, the former Malaysian prime minister said it was a right for Muslims to kill millions of French people. Twitter deleted his tweet for glorifying violence, but he remains on the platform. The tweet below was taken from the Wayback Machine. So there you go. Someone inciting violence, not banned. Muhammad Buhari, the president of Nigeria, incited violence against pro-Biafra groups. Those of us in the fields for 30 months who went through the war, he wrote, will treat them in the language they understand. Twitter deleted the tweet, but didn't ban him for inciting violence. You see the hypocrisy? There's just a certain woke virus that they want you to be infected by. In October 2021, Twitter allowed Ethiopian Prime Minister, there you go, all these people were just allowed to stay on. But Twitter executives did ban Trump, even though key staffers said that Trump had not incited violence, not even in a coded way. Less than 90 minutes after Twitter employees had determined that Trump's tweets were not a violation of Twitter policy, Vijay Agad, Twitter's head of legal policy and trust, asked whether it could in fact be coded incitement to further violence. Get the fuck out of here. A few minutes later, Twitter employees on the scaled enforcement team suggest that Trump's tweet may have violated Twitter's glorification of violence policy if you interpreted the phrase American patriots to refer to the rioters. What? Being a patriot means you're a rioter? Things escalate from there. Members of the team that came to view him as the leader of a terrorist group responsible for violence/deaths comparable to the Christchurch shooter or Hitler, and on that basis, on the totality of his tweets, he should be deplatformed. 2 hours later, Twitter executives host a 30-minute all-staff meeting. Jack Dorsey and Vijay Agad answer all the questions as to why Trump wasn't banned yet. But they made some employees angrier. Fucking woke idiots. Multiple tweets have quoted the banality of evil, suggesting that people implementing our policies are like Nazis following orders, relays Yoel Roth to a colleague. Yoel Roth. Yoel, that's one of those names. Dorsey requested simpler language to explain Trump's suspension for the bots. Roth, well, God help us, makes us think he wants to share it publicly. It makes me kind of glad that Ye said broke down the Hitler dam, because I'm just tired of that getting used all the time. 1 hour later, Twitter announces Trump's permanent suspension due to the risk of further incitement of violence. Many at Twitter were ecstatic. Look at these fucking dumbass employees. OMG! Ah! Woo! These are literal employees. Well, this feels like a piece of history. It is. Saw the message. Thank you everyone for your impactful work this week, for the discussion and for the drafting all these complex assessments. I am very proud to work and learn from you every day. wishing you a good weekend. They got their get back for him being elected. And congratulatory. Big props to whoever in trust and safety is sitting there whack-a-moling these Trump accounts. This is proof. And they called me a crazy conspiracy theorist, man. By the next day, employees expressed eagerness to tackle medical misinformation as soon as possible. Bro! Medical misinformation! This is the 2 strikes. I should be reinstated. Shouldn't this get me back on the mainstream platforms? I got my Twitter back, but the fact that these employees were colluding to try to silence one ideology by lying about election misinformation and COVID medical misinformation. That's how they got so many people that are now on Rumble. And it's a lie. It's all one big lie. They labeled us crazy conspiracy theorists, bro. For the longest time, Twitter stands for that we aren't the arbiter of truth, wrote another employee, which I respect but never gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling. Trump raised alarms, including with French President Emmanuel Macron, German Prime Minister Angela Merkel, and Mexico's President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Macron told an audience he didn't want to live in a democracy where the key decisions were made by private players. Based, I want it to be decided by a law voted by your representative or by regulation, governance, democratically discussed and improved by democratic leaders. Merkel's spokesperson called Twitter's decision to ban Trump from its platform problematic and added that the freedom of opinion is of elementary significance. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny criticized the ban as an unacceptable act of censorship. Good. Ultimately, the concerns about Twitter's efforts to censor news about Hunter Biden's laptop, blacklist disfavored views, and ban a president aren't about the past choices of executives in a social media company. They're about the power of a handful of people, they, thems, at a private company to influence the public discourse and democracy. Bars. They should reinstate me. W if I should be reinstated on all these platforms for the lies that a couple people, whoever this is, what's her name? Barry White, she really summed it up. They're about the power of a handful of they, them queers at a private company to influence the public discourse and democracy who want to spread the woke virus because they feel good about it. Stigo, what is the quote of the day and knows days of the world is corrupted by evil? Fuck Satan. God is good. God is the key for life. Love you, Stigo. Yerd. Appreciate you. I want to keep seeing these Twitter files be released. It makes me feel better about being called crazy for so long.
That's it. Your job?